So today I am here with a very special guest, Larry Long Jr. at the Leadership Talks podcast. Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. What you talking about, Willis? I guess we're talking about leadership. I love it. I'm matching. Come on, Wilk. I got the matching microphone. I got the matching bat. I'm colorblind.
Okay, you're calling me up. There you go.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. I'm super excited. I know you're super busy, but I wanted to go straight to the point. I know you have through, a career change, right? You've been through a career change, and I wanted to learn what is a leadership story that you can share through this change from corporate America to motivation speaker.
Yes, I mean, the biggest leadership story has been, how do you lead yourself? Often we think about leadership in terms of leading others. For me, I've had to look in the mirror and figure out, how do I lead myself with, number one, care? Because there were times where I would say, tough on myself, but really inflicting pain and pulling myself down, which isn't leadership. It was really, I was putting up roadblocks to my success. And I've had to really understand and get crystal clear that I'm going to support myself along the way. When you look at leadership outside, I always think about, do you care for your people? Well, before you can care for your people, do you care for yourself with your heart, with your mind, with the words that come out of your mouth, and most importantly, with your actions? Your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. So I've been on a journey, and I've been working with a coach, Wilka, that's helping to guide me, that's helping me to see clearly now that there's opportunity for me to do better in terms of leading and supporting myself.
Wow, that's amazing. I think I was on your last Wednesday, I think, or maybe 2 Wednesdays ago. How do you, because you were talking about inspiration and how you look at yourself as a leader and how you're going to be a little bit more easy on yourself, right? And we chat about that at the what is it, midweek motivation?
That's it, midweek, midday motivational minute, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern.
And that's on LinkedIn, on Instagram, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, so we were talking about the letter I, and there's a lot of different letters, imagination, a lot of different words, innovation, but I think you might be talking about grace, and I've had to learn to give myself grace, that, hey, it's okay to not always be perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but it's okay. And it's accepting that. It was interesting because my coach made an observation, something along the lines of, Larry, you're so uplifting, encouraging, so positive when it comes to other people. But when you turn it to that person in the mirror, womp womp, she's like, you're the negative Nancy, you're a Debbie Downer, you're so tough on yourself. It just befuddles me. And she was right. And what she shared is that that's holding you back. You've got to give yourself the same grace that you give other people. You've got to be intentional with all your actions, because it has an impact on you. Right now, it's not having a positive impact, which means it's having a negative impact. So it's just a lot of self-work, Wilka, a lot of self-work.
So I understand what you're talking about, and I appreciate, you sharing with us that you're working with somebody also, because in the end of the day, right, we always need somebody to be in our corner, but not just our friends, not just, your family, right? You need professionals. So, and I think I've experienced that, back in my California days when, I was like feeling not so great about myself and what I could do, moving from one coast to another as, single woman, and going to another place and trying to establish a new market, in working in a new hotel at the time. So I really, had some work as well. And that's through yoga, that's, finding your self-worth, and a lot of the motivational books and so forth. But I wanted to hear talking about book. Like I know I've seen, some comments, some what is it, teasers, right, out there on LinkedIn about the book. So I'm super curious to hear that.
Oh wow, Joe! I'm working on a book. The finish line is in sight. I'm working on the final edits to the manuscript before we send it off for formatting. But it's really the midweek, midday motivational minutes. I took my top 7 topics. For instance, chapter number 1: what story are you telling yourself and believing? The importance of really positive self-talk and making sure that you control and you write the positive narrative, because so many times we believe, at least I can't speak for anyone else, I believe the negative. Larry, you're not smart enough. Larry, you're not good enough. Well, if you keep saying that to yourself, guess what? Chances are you're not going to show up smart enough. All that self-doubt is going to hold you back. And my book is designed to give you that jolt, give you that burst of energy so that you can rediscover and believe in your inner greatness. And I'll tell you this, Wilcom, my goal is not just to provide a temporary jolt. It's really to provide ways that folks can step into their greatness and continue to walk in their greatness, even after I've gone, even after my book, they read my book, they're set up to really continue with that, because it's not good to be one and done. Oh, I read the book, I felt good about myself, womp womp, then I went back to where I was before. No, like you heard my theme song, ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move, and we're going to be taking it to the top, and we're going to be bringing along others as we get there. So the book has been, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit excited about it, just to be able to share, to be able to impact people's lives for the positive.
Well, I think that's amazing. And also one of the topics you said, it's not just, so read the book. The book is great. It gave me some motivation and shake it up. And that's it. Because of course, as humans, right, as people, we are evolving always. And, I think I've started following you on LinkedIn, and every time that, you have a podcast out, or, you have the midweek, midday program going on LinkedIn Live, and then I start following you on Instagram. So it's like your story is just like my story, right? Like you go through challenges, you go through discoveries, right? And you still have your family in the back, and you wanted to make sure you're providing the best you can, not just for your clients, but also for your family. And I love, like to, and I'm so grateful once again, that you had, this time for us to chat, because leadership is that, right? It's not just, oh, you're a great leader at work and what you do, but also at home, in everything, in every aspect of your life. And as your background in sports, right? I think that also brought that team leader and involving everything. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, you said it best. I mean, together, everyone achieves more. I think that's what team stands for. And there's a chapter in my book that's called "You Are What You Eat." You are what you consume, and that's not food. If it was food, that would make me a fried chicken wing. But essentially, what podcasts, what books, what people are you surrounding yourself with? And I try my best to be intentional, to be that positive beacon of light, of hope, of joy, of energy and excitement, of just really enjoying each and every day, each and every moment. And I try to surround myself with others that also embody that, because life is too short to be worried about, oh, woe is me, everything is terrible, negative, negative, negative. Chances are, if that's your thought process, a lot of negative stuff is going to happen to you. Now, I'm not saying everything that happens to me is positive, but I look at it from the perspective that it's a learning lesson. I either win or I learn. And I like both. I like learning. I love winning. But even if things don't work out, I'm going to take that as a learning lesson. I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to be flexible and I'm going to make some adjustments. And then I'm going to share with others so that they don't make that same decision, so that they can zig when they might be wanting to zag. It's like, no, I'm your Sherpa. This is the way that you want to go. So just so fortunate. And likewise, I'm so privileged that we cross paths. And I'm so thankful for your just amazing encouragement. Your light shines bright, whether you know it or not. You're an inspiration to me, Wilka. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, it's the American way of living.
I love it.
It's a Brazilian in America, right? You gotta shine, you gotta be smiley, you gotta be happy, but it's definitely, I think you know where I'm going, right? Because your wife is from Argentina, right? So therefore your kids are here. Of course, they were born here, but I think there is a flair, right? It's a different flair. It's an international flair. And I know you have done some international engagements as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I've had the opportunity to speak with teams in Germany and England and all over the globe.
So is that all through Zoom that you're doing, or you're already started? Because I can't, like, I've seen you every day on Instagram and LinkedIn, but I know the story, but I want you to tell us, because you participated in some National Association of Speakers, and then you were playing golf all day, right? So talk to us about that engagement, how it came about.
So I was recently in Orlando for the National Speakers Association Winter Workshop. And that was really to fill my brain with knowledge, to make great connections, to help me in my speaker business. I'm coming up on a year. March 26th or the 24th will be my 1 year anniversary of being full-time as a speaker. So just learning and hopefully earning and really having an impact on people. I left there and I left Orlando and went to Atlanta for a project in the Content House. So I was with 8 other content providers in Atlanta. We were sharing ideas. There were video crews there that were videotaping us, and we were just providing content to really share insights and hopefully value to sales professionals that are looking for, they're hungry for knowledge to help them take their game to the next level. So most of my international work has been via Zoom, but now that things are starting to lighten up a little bit, I'm getting some inquiries about, hey, are you open to traveling to Europe? Why, yes, I am. Are you open to traveling to our location? Let me think about it. Yes.
So travel is definitely in your future, right? And as a hotelier prior, right? And I think I have a lot of, this is one of the questions that I often ask. What is the best destination that you have traveled to, either professional or personal level?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If my wife is listening, Argentina. To keep it real, one of the best places I've been has got to be Lake Garda, Italy, outside of Milan. It was on just the people, the food, the atmosphere. Oh, it was second to none. After that, Malaga, Spain. Oh, goodness. Great golf, great food, and great people. As you can see, I love to talk with my belly. I love to meet great people that are just nice and caring and just open. And that's what I found in both Spain, Malaga, Spain, Barcelona, Alicante, as well as in Italy, which was amazing. And I can't leave out Bublin and Dublin. My Irish mates in Dublin, I've been twice, have been unbelievable. So I love traveling. Costa Rica, the list goes on and on. Welcome, Mexico. Come on now, England.
Well, I have to get my mic and let's see if when are you traveling to Brazil?
Oh goodness, when am I gonna get the invite? I need the invite from a Brazilian that can show me the way to all the good stuff. When is that invite coming?
Wow, let's go, let's get that trip on the books.
I can't wait to get to Brazil. Oh, I've heard so many amazing things.
One thing that I also want to do, ask you, but I like the pink mic. Can you get that one? It's
It
like
goes with my
matching your
pink
shirt
back.
and everything. Wow. What is the most fun speaking engagements that you have participated or led, for this past year? Because, and in matter of fact, give you kudos, congrats, you're making the American dream happen.
It would have to be December the 2nd. I had the opportunity to MC an event hosted by Salesforce. And what made it so special, first of all, Salesforce, top-notch organization. Secondly, I got to introduce Neon Deion Sanders, prime time, Coach Prime, who I looked up to growing up. Football, he was a football player in the NFL, baseball player in Major League Baseball. So getting to introduce one of my heroes growing up was just unbelievable. But I also got to introduce Arsene Wenger, former coach of Arsenal with the English Premier League. And I'm not a huge soccer fan, but game recognized game, he's one of the greats. He led a team that didn't lose a game throughout an entire season. I think they were called the Invincibles. And then to top it off, Ryan Serhant from $1 Million Listing, New York, I got to introduce him. So just having the opportunity to rock the mic or two,
Or three.
while in studio, and I had a makeup artist. I said, if you can make me look good, then woo, you are a magician. And somehow she worked her magic. She said, oh, you're shining. She had to de-shine the dome. It was awesome.
Wow, that's excellent. And one of the also, I think, that's the what people, right? Like you see on LinkedIn and you are on videos, you're creating content. And I look up to you because I think, one, we all need motivation, right? We are salespeople. Sales was not the greatest thing last year or, since COVID started, right? But where do you find, like all of this energy? Because people often, mention, oh, you made a video talking about your trip. And I'm like, yeah, because this is what people are looking to get, right? From following you on your social or professional engagements. But I wanted to hear from you, like, what is your perspective on these engagements and energy when you're talking to, folks?
It's great that you asked it. One of my chapters, chapter 2, motivation, where does yours come from? For me, mine comes from my beautiful wife, Maria, my 2 kids, Larry Long III, we call him Trey, my daughter, little Lulu, Lucia. And then it's also the legacy. I lost my father 6 years ago. It's my father's legacy. My mom is still living. My sister is still living, my family. It's really making them proud and serving as an example through my actions of, hey, everything might not be awesome. That's not to be expected. Life is a 4-letter word, and life is beautiful if you look for the beautiful things in life. I got a good buddy, James Babb, who said, hey, in every situation, I encourage you to look for the good, the great, and the wonderful. It doesn't matter what happens. You could get a flat tire. Well, the good is you'll get to practice changing a flat tire. The great is you might have a good Samaritan that stops by to help you out. And the wonderful, ooh, you can document it and share with someone else. Hey, if you get a flat tire, breathe in, breathe out, and just know everything's going to be all right. So I just try to pass that along in everything that I do to let people know that no matter what you're going through, I really believe everything's going to be all right. And I encourage people to change their perspective, to change their lens, because sometimes our lens is, oh, this is terrible. Woe is me. And in the grand scheme of things, no, it's not. You're alive. You're breathing. You're in good health. You got family, you got friends, you got neighbors, you got community, and you have the opportunity to help someone else out. What else can you ask for? Because this life isn't about what we do, how much we accomplish. I believe this life is about how many people did you impact for the positive. I think if we're keeping score, that's the score I want to keep. How many people did you have a positive impact on? Did you change the trajectory of their life, thereby changing the trajectory of everyone who's in their sphere? What impact? Talk to me about the impact that you made there. And that's how I'm going to judge. That's a life well lived.
And that's beautiful, because I think also us, right? I say us because of course I'm still in sales as well. And that's one of the, how can you measure your impact, right? It's either on people, on different projects, or something, outside of your day-to-day at work. And how can you be not just, Wilka can be Wilka, the salesperson, or Wilka can be the friendly Latina woman that is also motivating and sharing her experiences while on a trip to Rio, or just walking around the block in her house in Maryland. So, it's like, how can you share your perspective online in life, right? Because in the end of the day, it's great, right? You write a book today, tomorrow you're doing the book signing here in Washington, D.C., right? We are working together. I give you some recommendations of the top places. I've told you that before.
Yes. Oh, I
It's like
love it.
definitely the impact on the positive, right? And I must say again, when I think I've had a call with you, and I've never met you, right? I follow you on LinkedIn. I like what you say. I like your stuff. And you are always so gracious. And you took the time, and you called me. You called me. And basically I was in a point where I felt that I wasn't enough, right? I was going through a really deep challenge through COVID, and, everything that came to everyone's mind, right? Am I going to keep my job? I'm not going to keep my job. What's happening? What am I going to do? But then you called and we had a chat, and you just said the entire time, Wilco, oh, wow, I see, I understand. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing, show up, and get the ball rolling. Yes, you're right. So it's like this motivation, Larry, that I think it's what people need, but they don't even know they need it. Right.
The great thing about that right there is, Wilka, you stepped into it. You actually stepped into it. You believed that, you took action, and now you're shining. And I know that you're going to continue shining. And I encourage you to continue spreading that shine to help others shine. I believe it's really about how many deposits, how many deposits. Sometimes human nature is all about me, 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 me. I call those me monsters, and I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm looking at how much can I get? How much can I take? And sometimes I've got to jolt my own self and say, Larry, that's not what it's about. How much can you give and give and give and support other people? That's really what it's about, when you can build up other people and have that great impact. So I just love to hear that story. I encourage you to keep rocking and rolling and passing that on to others, like you are right now in your podcast, Leadership Talks. We're talking. I love it.
And actually, I had somebody the other day, and this person said, so how much money are you making on this podcast? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any money yet, right? But in the end of the day, I think it's also a way for me to become a better speaker, right? Because in the end of the day, I can engage with people that I wouldn't have, if I wasn't curious about what they do or how they stay motivated, and what else can I learn from others, so that's, for me, it's what I'm getting from the Leadership Talks podcast. And I'm so grateful, I've had now for actually over a year as well, because I started, and yeah, so it's been really fun.
Oh, kudos to you. Oh, keep it rocking and rolling. I'm privileged to be here chatting with you.
Larry, I just wanted to say one more time, you are an example of leadership, and I've had, many I've listened to a couple of podcasts that you were a guest, and just like your energy, your vibrancy, you are excited. I never see you like, oh no, today's not my day. You just like, you show up, you dress up, mic, different colors, sunglasses, whatever prompt you need, but it's like you're always there and you're giving this energy. You come across, really positive and really embracing the motivation. So how can people get in touch with you? Make sure, you get those dollar bills on your bank account.
Well, first of all, to contact me, you got to be wearing some stunner shades, some
Oh,
blue
no worries.
blockers.
No worries. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. Mike,
Best way to
everything.
find me is
American
on,
dream.
yeah, the best way to find me is on LinkedIn, Larry Long Jr. I got a smile for a mile. I'm the man with the golden microphone. But I also have a website, LarryLongJr.com. And make sure you have double blue blocker glasses if you check me out on my website.
What about the Instagram?
Oh, Larry Long Jr. on IG. Make sure you have your seatbelt on because things get pretty crazy on my IG.
Wild, wild, wild. Thank you so much, Larry Long Jr. I truly appreciate you. You are an example of leadership, and that's why you're here today at the Leadership Talks podcast.
Thank you so much, Wilka. I appreciate you.